So for you, what is the role of integration and embodiment?
So, integration. Ultimately, for me, integration has a couple different elements to it. So, as I've already mentioned, I do specialize in helping people integrate 5-MeO DMT experiences. A big part of that is that um, people have an experience with 5-MeO DMT, and there might be parts of it that they don't recall. Um, and then there could be many other parts of it that they do recall, but they don't know why they were experiencing or expressing um, what they were doing during that time period. And they probably also were experiencing lots of different emotions and then can come out of it with what many of us in the 5-MeO DMT world called ontological shock, meaning that it really fundamentally changes your perception of the nature of the self, the nature of reality, the nature of God. So a large part of integration with 5-MeO is helping people reflect on and understand what was going on in their 5-MeO experience from an energetic perspective and how the ego was interacting with this more infinite nature of the self, or how it was releasing within that. And then there's a lot of processing and expression of perhaps uh, withheld energies within the body, within the being. So in other words, 5-MeO experiences tend to be very powerfully somatically processed, and a lot of times there's no egoic self there to even see or witness what was taking place. So often with 5-MeO, you need to spend a lot of time helping people understand just what it was that they went through, right? Because it's very common for people to have a 5-MeO experience, and afterwards they're just kind of like, what was that? Like, what
Mm-hmm.
happened? And so helping them understand that and understand how whatever it was they were going through actually was kind of normal for 5-MeO. So that's a big part of it, and that's very different than somebody saying, well, I had a 6-hour mushroom journey and maybe I saw some aliens, but then I saw my dead mother, and then I recalled that time that I was abused, and then I felt love and peace and connection. In other words, most psychedelics don't actually disrupt the ego where it's transcended, whereas 5-MeO is very, very powerful in that regard. And then it's quite common that after 5-MeO DMT, people have a lot of energetic events that are happening, where, in other words, they have these reactivations where they feel like reality is breaking apart. I'm going back into the light. I'm dying. I'm losing control. There's a lot of emotional and energetic processing that tends to take place afterwards. And then there also can be a lot of purging and releasing of kind of long-held traumas or energetic residuals within someone. And it is kind of this very powerful death and rebirth kind of process. And so it's about looking at all of these things and helping. I always like to frame it as working with psychedelics in general is about this energetic process of transformation. 5-MeO DMT is really about this very powerful process of energetic recalibration and reconditioning that takes place. So what we want to do is we want to look at whatever event you experienced, see what brought you into it, see how you came out of it, and then start to understand this as an energetic process that is very unique to you, but is part of these universal elements of, well, you're just God in a body experiencing itself as this individual. So helping people understand their energetic process. And then it can be about where do you need help embodying and continuing to somatically energetic process whatever you're experiencing now afterwards. Because it does tend to be a lot for people, and it can be very scary, and it can feel very out of control. So giving people practical tools of how to encounter it, how to work with it. And then a lot of it can be helping them look at their lives. Like, for example, if somebody says, well, I'm in a job that actually I really hate and I feel that it's not doing good in the world, or I'm in a relationship that I don't feel that I can really be myself in this relationship, or yeah, I still get really angry at my mom and dad, but no, I don't really talk to them about it and it's unresolved or whatever it is. So a lot of times it also is about looking at, well, what are you doing in your life? Are you holding yourself to old patterns and old expectations, or are you allowing yourself to be authentic and open with what it is that you're going through now? And then, so there's possibilities for making different choices, of allowing different energies to express themselves. And then also, like I was mentioning before, like even looking at people's body language and seeing, like if somebody talks about it and they're like, and you can see they're getting all tense about it. So, okay, so now even talking about it, we can see that you're constricting in your energy. So let's try actually opening up, and now tell me the same thing, but keep an open body posture, and kind of giving these practical bits of advice. And that the integration is about developing a certain level of understanding of, okay, so what is this energetic process that I'm now in? What are the tools or methods that I have to kind of keep it going, and to understand that this is going to be transformative? So even there is letting go of ideas of where you think it's going or what you think the outcome is going to be, but really being open to the process. So I'm always emphasizing these ideas of, it's an energetic process, that it involves your thoughts, your beliefs, your emotions, your body postures, the words you use, your tone of voice. All of these things are aspects of it. So it's really trying to give a very holistic picture of where someone is at, what they've encountered, and what they can do with it. So again, always kind of trying to bring it back to very practical levels.
Yeah.
And sometimes people come with like deep existential or philosophical questions. And sometimes all I do is I say, well, who's the answer important to? Like, well, me. It's like, okay, why? Well, I want to know. It's like, is that helping you be yourself? I don't know. It's like, well, then, so why are you so attached to that question?
Mm.
But it's individuated. It depends
Yeah.
on the person and what they're going through.